right, so I started watching The Polygamist on Netflix. And while everyone is talking about the drama, what stood out to me was something much deeper. This is not really a story about polygamy. It is a story about deception, identity, and what happens when people build relationships on secrets instead of truth. And honestly, there are some powerful lessons here for any woman who has ever ignored her intuition, settled for less than she deserved, or had to rebuild herself after betrayal. Let's talk. So, as I watched this series unfold, I found myself thinking about how often we focus on the wrong things. People are debating whether they could ever be in a polygamous relationship. But for me, that is not the real conversation. The real issue is whether everyone involved knows the truth. There is a difference between transparency and deception. There is a difference between informed choice and manipulation. There is a difference between a relationship built on honesty and one built on secrets. And that distinction matters because when trust is broken, the damage often comes from a lie, not the situation itself. Many women are not healed from what happened. They are healing from what was hidden. They are healing from realizing that the reality they believed in never actually existed. They are healing from discovering that that person they trusted was not who they presented themselves to be. And that kind of grief runs deep. So, one thing I noticed throughout this series is how often our intuition speaks before the truth arrives. Like sometimes we feel like something is off, right? And then sometimes our spirit is trying to keep our attention. Sometimes our body is responding to information our conscious mind has not fully processed yet. But many of us have been conditioned to second guess ourselves. We explain away red flags, we minimize our concerns, we convince ourselves we are overthinking. We choose potential over reality. And in doing so, we silence the very wisdom that was trying to protect us. Your intuition, my intuition, our intuition may not always give us every detail, but it often alerts us when something is not in alignment. What I see in this story is a lesson about self-worth. Because when we truly know our value, we stop negotiating with things that compromise our peace. We stop chasing clarity from people who create confusion. We stop making excuses for behaviors that consistently hurt us. We stop accepting breadcrumbs while hoping for a feast. Self-worth does not mean you are perfect. Self-worth means you are honest with yourself about what you deserve. And once you reach that place, your standards change. Your boundaries change. Your relationship change. From a spiritual perspective, this series reminds us that truth has a way of surfacing. You can hide information. You can create narratives. You can maintain appearances. But eventually, what is hidden seeks revelation, not punishment. Not because truth is restorative. Truth creates opportunities for healing. Truth creates opportunities for freedom. Truth creates opportunities for alignment. And sometimes what feels like devastation is actually the beginning of liberation. So for me, The Polygamist wasn't not really about polygamy. It was about integrity. It was about identity. It was about self-worth. It was about the consequences of living one life publicly while living another privately. And most importantly, it was about what happens when people finally see the truth clearly. Because healing begins the moment we stop arguing with what we know. So if you've watched The Polygamist, I'd love to know your biggest takeaway. What lesson stood out to you? Was it about relationships, trust, self-worth, or something else entirely? Let's have a conversation. Please put your comments below.